All right, good morning, everybody. How's everyone doing? Hello, hello. Today is Friday, February 14th, 2020. So happy Valentine's Day to all of you. To all of you who celebrate it. Some people do not for various reasons. Some people feel that it's a very commercial holiday made to bring in the big dollars. And others say, well, bah humbug. Even though it's not Christmas. My wife and I already kind of celebrated Valentine's Day earlier this week when we had our day out. We went out to a very basic dinner, but at least we had a dinner together. And we exchanged Valentine's Day cards at that point. Very well knowing that today we were going to be very busy. I have to work all day and she has to work. In addition, she's under the weather. More than likely she caught whatever it is that I had a couple weeks ago. So not a very pleasant day for her, which sucks. In fact, right now I believe she went back to sleep for a while. She's trying to rest up as much as she can because she has to work later tonight, and she wants to get as much rest in as possible before she has to go to work. So it sucks. But that's life. So anyway, today is also a big day because today's the big Sonic the Hedgehog movie day. That's right. The Sonic the Hedgehog movie is finally releasing today after all the controversy that it went through. For the past year and a half, if you remember when the movie was originally announced and was going to come out last year, the Sonic the Hedgehog character design, everyone hated it. They thought it was like too anthropomorphic, trying to look more like a real animal or whatever, and absolutely thought that it looked terrible. So after the insane social media backlash against the movie, they went back to the drawing board and redesigned the character at great expense. And now the movie is out, and from what I was seeing in the reviews, it's not a bad movie. It's certainly not the best movie ever made, but apparently, number one, it is very much in the spirit of the character from the games. They didn't completely rewrite the character. He has a lot of things, references to the games and everything in the movie. Number two, the movie is very it realizes it's not realistic. You know what I mean? So because of that, it's funny. And number three, apparently Jim Carrey is great in it. It's a return back to the classic 1990s, manic, over-the-top Jim Carrey, which we haven't seen in quite some time. So apparently the movie is pretty decent. I would like to see it. I don't know if I'm ever going to get a chance. But I would definitely like to see the movie eventually. Sounds good to me. So anyway, good stuff. For those of you who are going to be seeing the movie, maybe today or over the weekend, have fun. Apparently it's a good time. So what are we up to today? Let's talk a little bit. Okay? Well, full day of streaming today. And as you know, on Valentine's Day every year, I only play the most romantic games possible. So we're starting off today with Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, a game where all day long we'll be playing with balls. All day. We'll be collecting balls, we'll be rubbing balls, wishing on balls, pushing balls together, separating balls. It's what we do, right? And right now we're actually in the midst of an intermission. This is the time period between the final two sagas. We have finished up the Cell Saga, and now we are in intermission. This is I believe it's a 7-year period when Gohan basically becomes a scholar and grows up a bit and becomes a young adult teenager. And I believe we're going to be heading into the Saiyaman Saga, which was a filler saga in the anime. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's going to be today. I get the feeling today's going to be 100% filler. I just get that feeling. I don't think we're going to get to the main plot of the Boo Saga, the final saga today. That's okay, I guess. But I guess we'll see how it goes today. Now, keep in mind, this game is quite chill. You know, when we're in the midst of the big story-based sagas, it's pretty interesting. But when we're not, it's pretty, relaxing and not much going on. So please prepare for that today. Understand today will probably not be a super hyper intensive, action-packed stream. It'll be more laid back and relaxed, okay? Okay? So, there you go. That's going to be today's main gameplay stream. A lot of ball play, which is very romantic. Then later tonight, ladies and gentlemen, tonight's late stream, let me tell you guys something. Street Fighter, throwback Street Fighter. What is more romantic than throwback Street Fighter? Right? What is more romantic than throwback Street Fighter? Not a hell of a lot. Right? Not a hell of a lot. Um, if anything's going to get your clothes off, it's definitely going to be Throwback Street Fighter. Usually I play it in the nude. So you guys don't realize that that's the reason why when I play Street Fighter that my webcam's so small. But anyway, the last couple of weeks, the Throwback Street Fighter streams have been quite good. Last week's was like off the chain. People were super hyped. The attendance was super high. We had a good variety of gameplay that night. It was a lot of fun. And people really enjoyed that stream last week. I'm hoping we can have another really hype, awesome Street Fighter stream this week. I'm honestly glad that I've kept up with it, because I love classic Street Fighter, as you guys know. It's what I grew up playing in arcades. And, you know, there were a few weeks there that were kind of dicey, where we really couldn't find great competition. The connections were shitty. And, you know, it is hit or miss. So just to forewarn everyone, there may be a situation tonight where that's kind of the same thing. I don't control that. That's just connections and who's available playing. But, you know, last couple sessions have been pretty good. So I'm looking forward to more tonight. Hopefully it goes well. And hopefully you can join me for that later tonight around 6:45 p.m. Pacific time. Okay? Tomorrow, we return back to Donkey Kong 64. Oh, boy. How exciting. I'm sure you guys are just pumped for that. We're in the midst of World 5 of 7. So more than likely tomorrow we'll be finishing up World 5 and probably heading into World 6 as long as everything goes according to plan. And then tomorrow night, some Genesis Mini fun for you. And you guys will determine what game I play. Many games still left on the Genesis Mini to play. Last week we finished up Castlevania Bloodlines. So this week, I don't know what we'll be doing. We'll see what happens when we jump into it. Okay, that'll be Saturday night. Sunday, we return to Mass Effect 2. And truth of the matter is, you guys have really liked the playthrough so far. I wasn't expecting this, because when I announced that I was going to do a 10th anniversary run of Mass Effect 2, I basically was countered on stream with, oh, that's going to be boring. Don't do that. That's not interesting. Why are you playing an older game? Blah, blah, blah. You just played Knights of the Old Republic. Why would you play Mass Effect 2? Okay. So I played it yesterday. Attendance was great. People were coming on the stream super happy. Contributions were high. Like, everyone was super pleased. And the general consensus is the playthrough so far is great, because it's cool seeing me go back to something I've only played once 10 years ago. A lot of people are reminiscing about the old days of content creation on the internet and how things used to be. And I'm having a lot of fun with it so far. The really cool thing about that playthrough is that I'm going to be able to play all the DLCs along the playthrough. When the game first came out, those DLCs were not available. A lot of the DLCs, like the Kasumi character DLC or the Overlord DLC, they were added later. And so you would have to go back, after you already beat the game, you would go back and do these DLCs as just kind of add-ons. But now they're all part of the main plot of the game. So this is going to be pretty awesome to be doing this playthrough. And I really enjoyed it, you know, going back and having that kind of reminiscing. Well, wow, I remember playing this 10 years ago, sitting down and that launch night going through the tutorial and everything and having fun with this game. So this is going to be neat. I'm really going to enjoy playing this game. I really got that cool, positive vibe about it, and you guys seem to really like it too. So more of that on Sunday, okay? Sunday night, it's my weekly Doom 2 stream, and at this point, we're heading into the final third of the game. This is a cool way to prepare for Doom Eternal coming out next month, and I'm very happy that I've been playing it, even though it is quite challenging, and a lot of the ways to solve the levels are very cryptic. I had a lot of good times with it so far, and I'm looking forward to more on Sunday night. Then on Monday, we swing back to Dragon Ball Z Kakarot for the main gameplay stream. By then, hopefully, we'll be into the Boo Saga. And then Monday night, my weekly Minecraft stream, where this week we're going to be trying to find a wolf that we can tame, and also name after the top contributor of 2 weeks ago. And hopefully, at some point, we'll stumble into a turtle, because we really need to stumble into turtles so that we can get turtle eggs. And then whatever else we do, we got different stuff we do every week. So, sound good? Fair enough? All right. I hope it does sound good, and I hope it is fair enough. That's the streaming week. I'm off on Tuesday. Now, keep in mind, guys, next week is a little bit different, because next week is the special retrospective event. It's actually going to be on Sunday of next week. So not this coming Sunday, but a week from Sunday. The special retrospective marathon. This is when we go down memory lane 11 plus years I've been making content for the internet, and I'm going to go through things that you guys have been nominating and pick out some awesome ones for us to watch back together and react and do commentary on. Whenever I do a retrospective event, it ends up being quite fun, and we haven't done one in a while now, so this should be pretty awesome a week from this coming Sunday. And I just want to remind everyone that you can nominate things for that retrospective event. The nominations are still open, and yes, the website is back. Overnight, we had some issues. Yesterday, the website was down almost the whole day. I actually found out from my webmaster we're going to need to do some maintenance. Apparently, we do need to do some site maintenance. And he asked me when was the best time to do it. And I said, well, why don't we do the maintenance right after the retrospective event? Because at that point, I don't think we're going to need the website for anything. At least anything too pressing. I mean, the website could potentially be down for like 2 weeks if we needed to. I don't think it would really affect anything. Because we really, right now, the main use of the website is for you guys to nominate this stuff and then for me to draw upon those during the marathon event. So, I think that's what we're going to do. So, keep nominating things, guys. If you'll notice, every 20 minutes or so, the command pops up in the stream chat. And you can click on that to go nominate stuff directly. Or you can type !retrospective in the stream chat to bring up the link manually. Head over there to the website, nominate what you want to see, all right, and the site will be live, through the retrospective, and then probably like the next day I'll tell him if he wants to take it down to do the maintenance, we could do that, and get that site spruced up a bit, okay? Fair enough? I hope so. All right, guys. Outside of that, some people have asked me, why is there no sub goal this month? Well, quite frankly, number one, I didn't really come up with a good idea for a sub goal this month. I'm just being honest. With everything else going on, there was already other events in the background going on, and I couldn't really think of another unique event to do on top of that for a sub goal. In addition, I got sick, and that whole week that I was sick, I was just struggling to come through and do the streams. So it was pretty tough for me to in the background also be thinking of other shit. And by the time that I realized, I was like, oh my God, we're at the middle of the month now. Kind of late for a sub goal. So what I'm going to say is we're not going to do a sub goal this month. The other thing is, as you guys know, right now I really need your support via tips. This month in particular, I'm trying to raise funds by the end of the month to pay my tax attorney to file my taxes. He's making me prepay this year. And I'm going to have a special tips fundraiser, a marathon stream event near the end of the month where we're going to play games like Metal Gear Solid 1 and Fortnite. But that's kind of the focus. So as much as I appreciate that people want to sub, and they say, oh, I wish we had a sub goal so we got people to gift subs and do all this, I'd rather that people support me in the way that I really need this month, which is via tips so that I can actually do my taxes, all right? So kind of understand that would be kind of stupid to say, oh, let's all push for a sub goal. Oh, by the way, at the same time, I need tips. Like, well, that's kind of stupid, right? You're completely screwing the focus up of what's important this month. So there you go. Thank you guys for all the support. That's what's going on right now. All right. Now, later on this month, there should be some new games near the very end of the month. I believe we're going to have a couple new games at least. We'll see. There's one of them is a survival horror game I'm interested in, and the other one is Mega Man Collection, which I'm interested in checking out. Of course, next month's going to be crazy. Next month, we got a new fighting game. We've got various different genres of games. We got Neo 2, and then we've got Doom Eternal and Animal Crossing. We got quite a few variety of new games coming out in March. So, FYI, for those who are just so tired of me playing retro stuff, oh man, Phil's still not playing new releases. There are a lot of new releases, looks like are going to be coming out in March. So, the time is coming. Okay? So, there you go. All right, guys. So, let's go ahead. Let's move on to the next segment of the stream. This segment is called The Gratuitous Plugs. All right, so just to forewarn everyone, gratuitous plugs coming up. So for those of you who enjoy my content, thank you very much. I just want to say thank you for 11 plus awesome years where I've been able on a daily basis to share my gameplay experiences with all of you, whether it was on demand on YouTube or here now live on stream. It's been an amazing ride, a super fun experience, and I am very lucky to be one of the very few people who can actually do this for a living. I'm well aware that I am super duper lucky to be able to do my hobby as a job, okay? And I'm very, very pleased that I am able to do this and on a daily basis. I absolutely love hanging out with you guys while I play games. And, you know, I wouldn't give it up for the world as long as I could. Not to say that I'm going to be able to do this indefinitely. I don't believe I'm going to be able to. All right? But it certainly hasn't been a smooth ride. Let's put it that way. You know, I used to be a full-time YouTuber for the past 3 years. I've been a full-time streamer. And I, at this point, primarily rely on your crowdfunding contributions during live streams in order to make ends meet. It's not like the old days where it used to be based on YouTube ad revenue and people watching videos on YouTube. It's very much the opposite of that now, where that's kind of like the afterthought. Even though I do still upload to YouTube, I make almost nothing over there. It's all about the streams now, guys. So, thank you to those of you who attend, if you can, of course. Thanks to those of you who support via various methods during live streams, all right? If you like the fact that I'm here 6 days a week, live streaming full-time for you, if you like the fact that I still upload the archives over on DSPGaming on YouTube, despite the fact that I really don't get anything out of it, it's primarily fan service for you guys, so you can watch the stuff on demand later, all right? And if you want to see all this continue, please consider contributing in one of the following methods that I'm about to outline here on the stream, okay? But please understand something up front before we even get to that. Contributions are not expected, and they are not mandatory, all right? I'm incredibly grateful for anyone who steps up and contributes at all during my streams, all right? I consider that going above and beyond being a standard stream viewer. I do not expect anything from anyone at all, and I don't want anyone to come by the stream and be like, oh, man, I can't contribute to Phil today, and I feel like the odd man out, or I feel like, you know, I'm pressured, and I feel uncomfortable because I can't contribute. That's not what it's all about. Understand that gaming is my lifelong hobby. I made YouTube videos for 2.5 years without ever monetizing them, and then I kind of stumbled into doing this for a living, which I never intended. You know, I got laid off from my office job back in the day. If I basically did not have the ability to stream and make money doing it, I would still stream in some capacity. It certainly wouldn't be the capacity that I do today, but I love it so much, I would still do it because, like I said, it's my passion as well as what I do for my job. So please understand that, and please know that I don't want anyone to come by and feel pressure just because they can't contribute. That's not what it's all about. It's not mandatory that you contribute. The streams are very much free, and thanks for just stopping by and hanging out and spending time with me. Okay? All right. But, obviously, it very much is contributions that keep stuff going. So, let's talk about some of the ways you can contribute. I have a Patreon over at patreon.com/darksidephil. And if you contribute to my Patreon, you earn personal perks depending on how much you contribute, okay? I won't go into detail. It's all publicly listed there. Thanks to anyone who is a current patron, and thanks to anyone who considers contributing to my Patreon. I appreciate that. I also have a Teespring store where I sell all kinds of merchandise, primarily t-shirts, not going to lie, but there's other stuff over there like sweatshirts and hoodies and mugs and stickers and the like. So give that a look as well, okay? Thanks to anyone who buys anything from my Teespring. Now, if you're here live on the streams, you're probably going to want to contribute in a way that's going to get you some kind of live recognition during the stream, okay? So, if you either cheer with bits, or you subscribe to the channel, or you tip me during the live stream, I will give you a shout-out as a way of saying thank you. Please keep in mind, your messages must be in line with the rules of the stream. If you say something insanely insulting, or if you say something that's so derailing to the stream that has nothing to do with what we're doing, then I'm not going to read it, or I don't have to be pressured to read it. I'm in no obligation to say or do anything on my own stream. But in general, people are here to have a good time, and they get it, and it ends up being super fun interacting with you guys, okay? As you can see, we have a stream stats leaderboard at the top of the screen. This tracks things like top cheerer and top tipper of the day, so if you were here on live stream, that's an extra way you can get recognition. In addition, there is another set of stream stats that are tracked by Twitch itself, and those are actually integrated right into the stream. So that also, I will read out and give you a shout out. If you're the top cheerer of the week, or if you gifted subs or whatever this week, you get recognition for that too. All right, so many, many ways for you to get recognition, and I hope that you guys will, consider contributing, and thank you very much if you do. Now, with all the ways that I just mentioned to contribute, you may say, well, what's the best way to contribute? Because Phil just mentioned a million ways. Well, as I mentioned previously, it's tipping me. Right now, I really need help with tips. I still have not received my payment this month from Twitch. At the absolute latest, they're supposed to start processing the payment tomorrow, which means more than likely I won't even get it till Sunday. But at this point, I'm really pushing it because I know for a fact that there's a couple utility bills and my internet bill that need to clear, and they usually bill me around this time of the month. So all your tips that you've been giving me over the past couple of weeks have hit my bank account directly and have immediately gone to bills. Please understand that. And so thank you for all of that support. By tipping me, you give me help immediately, and that's why the tips are helping more right now. I'm not saying that cheering or subbing or buying something from my Teespring or pledging to my Patreon doesn't help. They absolutely do. And I'm certainly not looking to give horse in the mouth. If that's the way that you choose to contribute, thank you very much. But all of those methods of contribution have a processing time. I don't see any positive benefit from those immediately. It takes sometimes a few weeks, sometimes over a month for me to get any benefit. While if you tip me, I get that immediately and I can immediately pay a bill with it. See what I mean? So if you can today, please consider tipping me. But again, don't feel pressured to do so, especially if you want to contribute in another way. That's perfectly fine as well. All right? Oh, excuse me. Sudden tickle in my throat. Still, I still got a little bit of the remnants of the cold. Thank God it's not terrible. It was 2 weeks ago when originally I came down with it. So I still got a little bit. But obviously I sound way better. I feel way better. So, okay. So, in regards to tipping. First of all, how do you tip? Below the stream, there's a tips jar button you can click on, or you can type ! Tip into the stream chat. That'll bring up a link to my PayPal tips page. If you're going to tip me, please know you do not need a registered PayPal account to do so. You can actually just tip me with a debit or credit card, much like anything else. It is a misconception that you would actually need to tip me using a PayPal account. However, you may not see the option to do so. Sometimes that does not show up. All right, if that option is not showing up for you, then please go to a desktop version of the site. What that means is you may need to load the website actually on a desktop computer, or you can sometimes load that on your phone or whatever. You can force it to load the full-on desktop version. Then you should see the options to pay with a debit or credit card if you'd like to tip me today, okay? Now, something I want to say, because I'm looking out for you guys. Please, guys, do your best to protect your identity. Do your best to make sure that you're safe on the internet. What I mean by that is there's a lot of malicious parties out there who would love to do whatever they can to mess with you and mess with your private information and your life just because they can. It's not because they have a reason behind it. It's not because they know you and they hate you. Just because they can. They can anonymously do something to you. Some people get off doing that, okay? And you'd be very surprised how much information we all have on the internet in the modern era, especially with things like social media. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, these are all things that most of us have and have tons of our own personal information on it, including our family, our friends, where we work, where we hang out. And if you're going to contribute on a stream, what I would strongly recommend to you is that you do your best to conceal your identity so that way someone can't link your contribution to your real life person and then come after you and try to harass you because of it, all right? So perfect example here, if you're going to tip me today, tip me anonymously. Don't use your real name. Just say anonymous and do a tip and leave a nice message. Or make up a name completely. That's a funny name or something to read on stream. Instead of using your own name or using something that can be linked to your social media, do your best to protect yourself because I'll warn you, there's some really messed up people out there. And the last thing I want is hearing that some of my fans or friends here on the stream got hurt by some asshole who's harassing the crap out of them just because they had left some information on the internet. So please be careful. I'm looking out for you guys, okay? Now, let's talk a little bit about the rules of the stream. First of all, I have to abide by all the rules and regulations of Twitch.tv because I stream on their business, and therefore, please understand, I can't just say and do whatever I want on my streams. That's just common sense. But I have a certain vibe that I like to maintain on my streams. I call it a chill vibe. What I mean by that is I want people to be able to come by here and just hang out and have a good time and escape the stresses of their real life. Forget about stuff that's going on in daily life that's annoying them. Instead, come and relax and have fun, have some interaction with me and my stream viewers, see my honest reactions to whatever game we're playing. In general, just have a good time, okay? That's what it's all about. So, please understand that we have a few, general rules that we follow here on the stream that I feel maintain said chill vibe and make it a better time for everybody, okay? First of all, there's a couple topics that we don't discuss on stream. Those topics are politics and religion. The reason being, in the 11 plus years that I've been a content creator, I have found that, sadly, these are topics that are very, very argumentative. You know, people have a hard time seeing from another person's perspective on these topics. In general, people tend to argue a lot about them, and they just cause a lot of derailment of the stream. I don't think that they have a purpose to be discussed on my gameplay stream. I don't think this is the place for it or the format for it. And last thing I want is to be playing Dragon Ball Z, flying around, collecting orbs, getting the Dragon Balls, doing some fights, helping the people out during this nice intermission, relaxing, and then I turn back to the stream chat. We got people at each other's throats about the presidential nominations and stuff. It's like, don't want to do this, okay? So, absolutely not. That's not allowed. Now, if I am playing a game that has politics or religion as a part of the discussion in general, like part of the plot, that's different. If it's in context to a game, absolutely, let's talk about it and see how it affects the game. But let's not really derail the stream with general discussion about that stuff. Okay? Fair enough? Well, there you go. Now, the other thing is, I'm well aware that there are many people out there on the internet who are out to basically make fun of me, insult me, defame me, slander myself and my family. All they do this for is for personal gain. They get laughs out of it. They get attention out of it. Some of them make money doing it. All right? It's pretty messed up. These people are completely immoral, messed up people. No one in their right mind would be doing this kind of crap. But that's what they do because they're messed up people. Okay? I'm well aware that this stuff exists on a daily basis. They're making shit up about me to cause drama. And I don't play their games. All right? I just don't. I'm not going to mess around and pay any attention to their crap. It has nothing to do with my streams in general. If you just watch my streams, you would not even know that any of that existed. Okay? So please understand, I'm well aware it exists. I don't need to be told about it constantly. I don't need to know what's the new thing the next person said. Who gives a shit about that drama? I don't. So please understand that. And know that, it's no big deal. And I don't want to hear about it. It's against the rules to bring it up. What it does is it derails the stream. And it gives attention to those negative parties who don't deserve it. Okay? So please understand that if you do bring it up, you're derailing the stream. You are breaking the stream rules. And you will be moderated appropriately. So people come in here innocently and start, oh, did you know this guy's restreaming you? I don't care. I really don't care. It's against the rules to bring it up. We're just going to focus on having a fun, positive stream here today and ignore all those idiots, okay? Fair enough. All right. That's the gratuitous plugs, guys. We got through them. We got through the rules. It's now time for the third and final segment of the pre-stream. This is where I sing for 30 minutes straight. This is amazing. You guys have really picked up and love this new segment where I just stream. A cappella, I riff for 30 minutes. And, one day maybe I'll be on, America's Got Talent or something. Who knows? All right, no, we're not doing that. But we are going to give shout-outs. We're going to give shout-outs to those of you who have contributed on today's stream. We're going to have a little bit of fun discussion. And we're going to update the leaderboards, okay? So let's start up here. PW Dubs actually tipped me overnight. And he tipped me $1.30, and he said, have you been to Pink Gorilla Games in Seattle? It looks like a pretty cool advanced GameStop with more things. No, for some reason, the name sounds familiar. I don't know why. Maybe at one point, when I was looking around for stuff to do here, maybe when I first moved here or something, I was looking around, and and it came up. Because for some reason, that does sound familiar to me. But no, I've never been there. Never heard of it. There are some indie game shops around here. Not where I live, but more like towards Seattle itself. I live in a suburb of Seattle. But if you actually go into Seattle, there's a lot more of that kind of stuff. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's some, not GameStop, but other indie game stores that not only sell games, but maybe they have collectibles, maybe they have retro games. You know what I mean? So, all right. No, I've not heard of it. Excuse me. I probably have heard of it, but I have not gone to it. So, okay. Continuing on. The first contribution of today was Respergoo, who did a 100-bit cheer. He says, "Can you please sing or rap on stream?" Now, what on earth? I swear to you, I didn't read this cheer before. I was just joking about singing, and this guy wants me to sing on stream. I swear, this is a coincidence. But no, I'm not going to do that. Sometimes I do enough of that during the actual, the actual gameplay of the streams themselves. I don't think we need to do an acapella segment here. But thank you. SPB Original sent me $1.70 and says, "Happy Valentine's Day, Phil. Glad to spend it with my favorite streamer." Well, thank you, SPB Original. I appreciate that. Let's get you up on the leaderboard here. And I hope you have a good day. I hope you enjoy the streams. For those of you who have nothing else in particular to do today, I hope that today's streams are fun for you. Okay? Snorlax tipped me $1 and says the following. I don't know. Oh, he says, "You don't have to read the whole thing. I wonder if you still have your 3DS capture card, if it's for sale." Well, first of all, there's no such thing as a 3DS capture card to my knowledge. What I have is a Nintendo 3DS XL, right? The big one. That has the capture device actually built into it. All right? It was very expensive to get when I got it. I don't remember how much, but I remember it cost a ton of money. This was something that I got when I first moved here 5+ years ago. And from what I'm to understand, okay, the person who does it, wait a minute. Oh, okay, never mind. Apparently, the person who does it doesn't do it anymore. From what someone told me a couple months ago, the guy, I guess, doesn't do it as a business anymore. So I guess people who actually have these units, they're like really valuable. All right. I'm going to hold on to it. Reason being, number one, I may still do 3DS stuff in the future. You never know. Is the 3DS essentially dead? Yeah. Why? Because the Switch is a portable console. So really now, everything Nintendo for the future is going to be made for the Switch pretty much exclusively. But there's many games over the years that I did not play for the 3DS that I get the feeling people would like to see me play eventually. I have a couple of them right here. I actually have Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, which is Luigi's Mansion 2. I also have The Legend of Zelda Link Between Worlds that I never played, okay? And so maybe someday people would want to see me, do those playthroughs. So I'm holding on to it, okay? I'm more than likely going to end up using it. And as you noticed, if you haven't, a lot of the stuff that I do, retro stuff, a lot of people seem to like me doing retro stuff. And I get the feeling there will be retro stuff that people are going to want to see in a couple of years. I told you guys, I really want to do a Link Between Worlds. Like, I've always wanted to do it. And for some reason, I just never got around to it. So I definitely think, I definitely think that we will be using that in the future. So, yeah, I'm going to hold on to it. All right? Thank you for the $1 tip, though. Carried Diamond tipped me $1 and insulted me. So I'm just going to go ahead and say thanks for the insult, stupid, and the $1 tip. Snow Carl tipped me $1 and says, "When you say tax attorney, do you mean accountant?" No, I mean a tax attorney. I mean an actual attorney who does taxes. That's what I mean. And by the way, in a lot of cases, it's the same thing. Sometimes you can just have an accountant. Sometimes you can have a tax attorney. I've had both, and they both charge exactly the same. They charge a ton of money to do your taxes. When you have taxes like mine, where there's so much to do, keep in mind, I provide so much information. I have to document all my transactions, everything that I spend, everything that's for the business, etc. has to be documented. And there's depreciation of assets and all kinds of shit that goes into play with it. Tax write-offs and the like. So it's pretty complicated. And, basically, I used to have an accountant who did it for me. Of course, we all know the story about that, how he screwed up my taxes. And now now I have tax attorneys who work on it out here. And, it's all the same. I don't know why people like harp on this and think that it's like such a dramatically different thing. It's not. Okay? Okay. Continuing on. Mr. Papavera cheered and said, about the Minecraft thing, I might passively look for turtle eggs. Like, if you accidentally find turtles doing other things, then cool. If the coordinates for the wolf don't work, there's only a few other recommendations I have to maybe find one. I wouldn't want you to end up like last time. The animals for the grinder are only needed for the end. I was just trying to get them out of the way. The only other thing to do is mine for some blocks, which should be pretty simple. Okay. So there you go. Excuse me. Man. Ugh, clearing that up. Clearing up my throat here. Blech. All right, yeah. We'll see what happens on Monday. You know, like you said, we'll look for the wolf. We'll see if we can find it. If we can't, we're having problems. Move on to the next thing. At least get something productive done. Because that's what I feel like last week on the Minecraft stream, we didn't get anything productive done. Because the whole step was supposed to be based on finding turtles, and we couldn't friggin' find any turtles. And it was very frustrating. So maybe next time we just try to find the wolf. We can't find the wolf. Fine. Move on. Do something else rather than just focus on wolf, wolf, wolf. And next thing you know, we get nothing done for the stream, right? Okay. Rob, what's going on, Rob? You tipped me $5. It says, I walked out of Sonic after 10 minutes. Really? Really? You thought the movie was so bad you walked out of it after 10 minutes? Well, that's not a very good sign. Do you have any specifics you'd like to bring up? Anything about the movie you did not like in particular that you'd like to address so that the viewing audience would know what's going on with this? You're the first person I've heard that said that's basically saying it's bad. So, okay. Resbergu did another 100-bit cheer. He said, can you please sing a bit? No. Sorry. If I sing during the stream, naturally, that's one thing, but I'm not just going to sing on the pre-stream for no reason. Okay? Beetlejuice Supernova tipped me $1 and says, Twitch has implemented a new shadow ban system. People who are banned from a channel and then they make a new account to troll will now have their posts in said chat automatically become invisible to everyone in that chat. It's live now when it works, so 90% less trolling from now on. Really? I guess what you're saying is, if you ban someone, what it's going to do, I guess, is track their IP address. That's the only way I could think that would work. You know, it tracks their IP address rather than just their chat name. And so if they come in under the same IP address but a different name, then it blocks their posts. I mean, that's interesting. But I haven't noticed any blocked posts. Then again, I don't know if it shows it to moderators or not. I don't know how this works. So I haven't seen that. Of course, the other thing is, what about people who they have a dynamic IP address where they can just change their IP? What about people who use proxies? It's not going to solve all the issues, but certainly I think for the basic line level troll who's not very sophisticated and is just some dumb kid who makes a bunch of fucking clone accounts and shit, maybe it'll curtail the trolling, right? So as long as this works the way that you're explaining, I guess I support it. But at the same time, I don't know if it actually works like that. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. But I haven't seen anything new in the stream chat whatsoever. So I guess we'll see. What's funny is someone in the stream chat just said, imagine paying for a VPN just to troll DSP. There's people who paid to DDoS attack me in the past. If you remember, it was many years ago at this point. But there's actually people who paid to DDoS attack me for about 3 months straight. They got my IP address and were sending these ping bombs to me on a daily basis. It's pretty inexpensive. From what I understand, it's like you could pay like $20 and you can get like, you know, access to doing it a few times or whatever. But whoever this was doing it over and over and over for months until I finally realized that's what was going on. And I had to change my IP address through my internet service provider. So, why don't I say DDoS? Because I don't know how to say it. Is it DDoS or is it DDoS? Back then, I was asking and no one knew. This was years ago, keep in mind. But I was like, you know, what do you call it when people just doing this to you? And no one could answer my question, so I just went with DDoS because that's how you spell it. If it's DDoS, then it's DDoS. I don't know what the hell it is. No matter what, people make fun of me anyway, so I don't really give a fuck how you say it. But anyway, yeah, people did that to me for an extent. It wasn't just like, oh, it happened a couple times. This happened from like December of 2014 all the way through my Batman Arkham Knight playthrough, which was what, like May or June of 2015, something like that. It was actually my premiere stream of Batman Arkham Knight that they were doing it and knocking me off the internet. And then finally I caught wind of what was going on. and I had to have my ISP come out here, and we had to do this big rigmarole to change my IP address because they can't just do it. As stupid as that sounds, my ISP is really dumb in that regard and wouldn't just change my IP address. So it was a pain in the ass. But I got it done, you know. But that's what I mean. You think, oh, someone pay a VPN to troll Phil? Yeah, right. You would be incredibly surprised. Like, my bankruptcy filing is public, absolutely, and I knew it would be. But in order to get access to that, you have to pay a service fee in order to access the database to go through that. And I think you have to actually pay per page. It's like a certain flat fee per page, and my bankruptcy report is like 50 pages. So these people paid per page just to see every page of the bankruptcy report. You see what I mean? Like, this is what these people do. They're insane. They're absolutely insane. They will do this shit because they're nuts, okay? So this doesn't surprise me at all. Okay. Chunky Jack at 100-bit cheers says, do you smoke? I do not. I know I have throat problems. And the reason I have throat problems, a couple of reasons. Number one, my mom smoked. And I lived with my mom, obviously, for quite long period of time. So I got secondhand smoke in my lungs until all the way through I moved out from there, which was like the mid-2000s. You know, that's over 20 years of my life. I was in the middle of cigarette smoke. I have weak lungs. I can definitely tell you that. Like, if I'm outside and it's very cold and a cold winter breeze comes through, all of a sudden, if that cold air hits my lungs, I can't breathe at all. I completely lose the ability to breathe. I become completely short of breath and have issues. That's just a problem that I have, you know, genetically. Probably because my mom was a smoker. She smoked the entire time she was pregnant, and then she smoked, 20 plus years that I lived in that house. So my lungs are screwed up. I know that for a fact. Okay, and then I'm a live streamer. I talk all day long. I didn't usually have as many problems with my throat and everything until I started doing this full time. And when I started doing this full time, now all day I'm talking to record for YouTube, and now all day I'm talking on stream, I noticed my throat problems would get progressively worse. There's sometimes when I have none at all. There's sometimes when I have a little bit, like today, I have a little bit of a tickle in my throat, and I can clear it out and it goes away, but then it bothers me again later sometimes. And then sometimes it gets really bad. If you guys remember, I would say when the winter hit. So through like December and January, when the heat first turned on here, because we needed it because it was so cold, I started getting really bad throat problems where I was like gunked up every day. I was trying to clear my throat, it wouldn't clear. It's gross, and it just sucks. What can I do about it? Nothing, right? There's nothing I can do about that at all. So I'm just stuck. I'm stuck with the body I was given, and I tough through it. I also have really bad postnasal drip, where some days it's fine, and then some days it goes into overdrive, and it's just pouring down the back of my throat. It's making me cough. It's making me, I can barely breathe. It sucks. But we all deal. You work with you work with the hand of cards that you're dealt in life, right? And so for me, it is what it is. People love to make fun of me for my shortcomings. What can I do? I can't help it. I just put up with them. Okay. If you watch my content over the last 11 years, it really hasn't changed that much. I do have to clear my throat and everything every once in a while. It just it depends on the time of year if it gets worse or not. It was a lot less noticeable when I did it behind a camera, because when I did it behind a camera, I didn't pick up the audio as well. Now I'm using a professional studio quality mic, so you hear it a lot more prominently. Okay. Excuse me. That was disgusting. D-Merc says, oh, I hate that excuse. Your body is what you make it. I mean, to some extent, you're right. Yeah, if I choose to eat insanely unhealthily and, just eating fast food and cramming it down my throat all the time and not working out, and I become grossly obese, that's my fault. But the postnasal drip that I have, the fact that my throat gets screwed up, the fact that I have weak lungs, that's not my fault. I didn't do anything to cause that. That's genetics, Okay. All right, guys. Let's go ahead and give shout-outs to the top cheers of the week. Thank you very much to the top cheerers of the week so far. In 10th place, we've got Tumbling Timmy. 9th place is Mr. Papavera. 8th place, Spartan King. 7th place, Junior Mint 007. And that's actually a tie for 6th with Delancius, excuse me. So a tie for 6th. Chunky Jack is in 5th. Snake Eater is in 4th place. Tomahawk MCX in 3rd. Accio Artorias in 2nd place. And 1st place, Wee Wiz, who did a couple of very large tiers earlier this week to get him up there to 1st place. And thank you very much for that. Excuse me. Okay. And now, also, thank you to the top sub gifters of the week. We have Philly Buckeye and Alfred Aponte, who each gifted a single sub. And then we have Boxing Elephant and Snake Eater, who each gifted 2 subs each this week. Thank you very much for that. Also, shout out to Stable Genius, who resubscribed for 9 months. Thank you, Stable Genius. Let's actually check on sub count. Okay. 580 subs. We went up by a sub. That's cool. Thank you very much. Oops. That Anonymous says that it was tested. The shadow banding mechanic was tested and it works. That's cool. That's going to be great. Reason being, as you know, there's a lot of people who we ban, and then they just come back with a new account. Sometimes a totally new name, sometimes a name that's not so new. They don't really try to hide the fact that they're coming back, okay? Now, I don't know why they're calling it a shadow ban mechanic. It's not. What that is making sure that a ban sticks. What does that have to do with shadow banning? Nothing. Shadow banning means like you ban someone behind the scenes. It's not even public. Like you just go behind the scenes and ban someone when something's not even active, so they don't even know what's going on, who banned them or anything. They're just gone, right? But what this is it allows you to have a ban stick. You know, someone's being an asshole, you ban them from your stream, they can't just make another name and come back in and continue on, right? That's a good thing. That's definitely a good thing. If it works again, okay? All right. Let's see here. Liquor Ashard. Okay, give me $1. He says, you said you used to watch Dragon Ball Z when it came out. What was your first anime you watched? Hentai? No, it was not hentai. That was not the first anime I watched. Back in the day, there were 3 that were on American TV. It was original Dragon Ball was actually on TV before Dragon Ball Z. So the original Dragon Ball I saw some episodes of. And Sailor Moon, yeah, I know. Sailor Moon was another one that was one of the first ones on American TV that I saw. And another one was Ronin Warriors. I even remember the theme song was Ronin Warriors, the power's in the armor. Yeah. All right, they didn't say yeah. But that was the theme song. And that was cool because it was like different samurai who were wearing this super powered mystical armor. And they were different colors and they had different abilities. That was pretty neat. Those were the first 3 that I remember. And then I remember Dragon Ball Z hit American TV. And that's really when it like picked up big time. Like huge. Dragon Ball Z was like super popular back in the day. Like super duper popular. Because it was violent. And because it had these themes, oh, powered up, you're powered, no, you're powered. The art style was cool. So there you go. Yeah, that was the old school anime from back in the day that I remember watching. So, Chunky Jack did 100-bit cheer. He says, "Peen us liquor." So apparently, Chunky Jack is a penis licker. Well, you know, you may not want to reveal that kind of information on the internet. As I was telling you earlier, Chunky Jack, you might want to protect your information, your identity. People can use stuff against you. But, I mean, if you really want to talk about that, I mean, I can't stop you. You talk about your hobbies on the stream, that's cool. But thank you for the cheer regardless. Okay. Mr. Bingo Dingo just asked, did I ever get into Yu-Gi-Oh cards and such? Shit was so much fun back in the day. No. I knew it existed. I knew there was, like, Magic the Gathering and then Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh. I never got into that stuff. I know there were some people who did around me, but I was in video games, Street Fighter in arcades, fighting games in arcades, and then Super Nintendo at home, and then PlayStation after. That was my shtick. I wasn't into those other things other people were into. Let's see here. Be Best Vin just subscribe to the channel. Be Best Vin, thank you very much for the sub. I appreciate that. Okay. All right, guys. So I think that is it, right? I think that's it for the pre-stream. We got through all the contributions. I want to say thanks in advance, everyone who's contributed. And thank you to everyone who is thinking of contributing. Again, please remember, guys, the best way to help me right now is by tipping me. I do still need the help with tips, simply because, you know, I don't know what I'm going to get actually paid by Twitch. So I'm a little nervous here. So if you tip me, it helps me more. But I still appreciate all of their contributions. Let's take a short break. Okay, let's take a short break. I will come back after the break, and I will jump on and we'll get DBZ Kakarot going. I'm just going to use the restroom and blow my nose and stuff before we start here. So, all right, give me just a couple of minutes. I'll be right back, and then we get started with DBZ Kakarot. Thanks, guys. See you in a sec.